Hi everybody, meteorologist Amy Sweezy here with Orange TV. If you have lived in Orange County for any length of time, it is no surprise when you hear me say it is hot in the summertime, right? We're used to it, we know about it. We talk about heat stroke, we talk about being safe in the heat in the summertime, taking breaks, drinking lots of water. But another thing that we always need to remind ourselves is about our pets and not leaving them inside a hot car in the summer. My guest today is going to talk about that very topic. This is Rick Hunyadi. Rick is a training coordinator with Orange County Animal Services. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about the temperature. Obviously, we as people, right, know that it is so hot. In fact, it's what, 10 o'clock in the morning right now,
Yep.
and we're both like sweating
Yes.
bullets standing here
Yep.
in the heat.
Yeah.
What is it like temperature-wise when you leave your pet in a car?
So it gets hot, and it gets hot very quickly. We checked the temperature right before we started, and it was 82 degrees, 85 with the humidity and stuff.
Yes, the heat
My
index.
guess is in a car that's sitting in the sun for 10 to 15 minutes can get over 120, 130 degrees very quickly. So very, very hot, very, very quick.
And what's the kind of temperature that is a concern for your pets?
Anything, if the pet's temperature itself, anything over 103, we're going to start being concerned about. For the temperature in the vehicle, if it's hotter than the ambient temperature outside, it's going to start raising the temperature. So anything hotter than 85 than it is now is not good for an animal because it's going to start raising that temperature.
I feel like if you work for animal services, if you're a meteorologist, or perhaps if you're a cook or a chef,
Yes.
you might carry around a thermometer with you pretty regularly, right?
I do, oh yes.
But most people don't. So
Correct.
how do they know how hot their pet is or how hot their car is?
They probably don't. And that's why we always tell people, because if you don't carry that stuff around, it's always probably best, if you can, to leave your animal somewhere safe, somewhere in air conditioning, somewhere at home, at a boarding kennel, whatever it is, and not in the car, because people don't carry those thermometers around with them.
But I'm only going to run into the store for 5 minutes.
5
Be
minutes?
fine.
Yeah, you think it will be, but we all know 5 minutes always turns into 10 minutes, which then turns into 20 minutes, and then turns into an hour, or whatever might be going
Right.
on. So we just tell people, unless you're bringing your animal to a vet or taking it to a boarding kennel itself, something specifically for that pet, leave it either at home with a friend, with a family member, at your vet office. There's plenty of boarding kennels in the Orange County and Central Florida, including our very popular amusement parks. They all have boarding kennels at them. So if people are coming to visit, start at the boarding
Yes.
kennel, bring your pet there, then go have a fun day with your family.
And that's the next thing I wanted to talk about is the tourists, because obviously, we've got a lot of people that live here, but we also have so many tourists that come to
we do.
Orange County every year. If they're coming from, say, Maine or Michigan, and it's a little different in the
Yes.
summertime, they always leave their pets in the car with the windows down, they're fine. What advice do you have for them?
Obviously, we want you to have a fun time with all your family members, whether it's human or furry, but there are places to take your animal that it's safe for them, so you can go into the park and have a good time and not worry about the pets. Disney has a boarding kennel that is fairly affordable. There are numerous boarding kennels here in Orange County that we will cater and get your animal safe, air conditioned, water, airflow, hanging out with other pets, so that you can go have a fun time at Disney, at the Haunted Mansion, or at Universal, or Halloween Horror Nights, or whatever it might be.
Perfect. You got them all in, I think, just about.
Trying.
Good job. Fun spot. Add that in there.
Oh, fun spot, yes, of course.
So, and you mentioned a little bit about the tips, but I feel like most people know, okay, I'm going, I'll crack my windows, but that's not always enough.
So if you have exhausted everything, or there's just something you have to do, and you have to bring your pet with you, we always recommend a couple things. Park in the shade. Clearly we're not in the shade today, but that's okay. Park in the shade, windows slightly cracked at the very least to allow airflow, air conditioning on, and then leave water in the car for the animal. If you absolutely have to do it, you got to at least do those things. If you have done none of them or only one or two of them, it's not going to be enough. If you have the air conditioning on, but you're out in the direct sun, it's still going to warm up.
Right.
So if you cannot leave it at home and you cannot bring it somewhere else, we always recommend airflow, shade, air conditioning, water, or hydration.
And there have been times that a car will turn off even when the air conditioning's on, and you
Correct.
don't realize it.
Correct.
So that's why it's still always best to
Yes.
just leave the pet at home.
And you know, Tesla has the dog mode, which is great. I'm happy they have it. But technology, whether it's internal combustion or battery operated vehicles, things can still fail. Things can still turn off. Things can still shut down. That's why we always say, bring it somewhere where that's not going to be an issue.
All right.
Or leave it so you never have to worry about it in the first place.
Rick, thank you. Anything else you want to add in closing?
I'm good if you're good.
I'm good. So we have a reminder for everybody. Once again, please, if you don't need to take your pet with you, don't. Just leave them at home where it's cool and you're not in the Central Florida heat. I'm meteorologist Amy Sweezy with Orange TV.